Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is Living Divinity. I want to thank all of you for joining me. Without you, there's no reason for me to be here. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate you. And we want to thank God that we can come together. So I'll give you an update on my dog. He's doing so much better. My nephew stopped by and saw me yesterday, and he recognized that my Tombo's doing so much better. And so my dog knows my nephew's name, so when I say his name and tell him he's coming over, he gets all worked up and all excited. So it was nice to see him. And I think he's about 17 years younger than me, or maybe 15 years younger than me. But he's grown into a wonderful man who's following his path. He's still trying to find himself, yet he does have helpful hands. So God bless him. So I'd like to start reading out of the book of Psalm. We're going to read Psalm 97. And I feel like, when you open up the Bible, right, and you read passages, it invites God into your home. So that is why I believe that, the readings are true, and the readings are the messages that God wants you all to have. And it's a protection, right? When we ask God to come into our life, come into our home, come into our heart, and walk the path, we are guided and protected along the way. So let me begin. I'm on my second cup of coffee. Psalm 97. The Lord reigns. Let the earth be glad. Let the distant shores rejoice. Clouds and thick darkness surround him. Righteousness and justice are the foundation of his throne. Fire goes before him and consumes his foes on every side. His lightning lights up the world. The earth sees and trembles. The mountains melt like wax before the Lord of all the earth. The heavens proclaim his righteousness, and all the peoples see his glory. All who worship images are put to shame. Those who boast in idols worship him, all you gods. Zion hears and rejoices. The villages of Judah are glad because of your judgments, O Lord. For you, O Lord, are the most high over all the earth. You are exalted far above all gods. Let those who love the Lord hate evil, for he guards the lives of his faithful ones. He delivers them from the hand of the wicked. Light is shed upon the righteous, and joy on the upright in heart. Rejoice in the Lord, you who are righteous, and praise his holy name. So I just want to speak a little bit about forgiveness. So it's our place, right? It's the place in our heart that we must forgive those who have hurt us from years ago to maybe yesterday, right? And everything in between. So it's a way to help us to begin to heal whatever pain that was caused to us, whether it's physical, mental, or spiritual. And even if we pick up the phone and say, "Hey, John, I'm sorry that I hurt you, and please forgive me." And John says, "Well, it's another day. It's water under the bridge, whatever the statement is," and he's in agreement with it. Now God is hearing Sue call John and say that, and he's, I believe it makes God's heart happy, makes his spirit happy that that forgiveness is taking place. However, what Sue did to John, God will still, it'll still be up to God as to what judgment actually comes through. Karma, what comes around goes around. So, you just have to be mindful in the words you use. Maybe it comes out of misunderstanding. Maybe it comes out of you're not being heard. You don't feel like you're being heard when you're actually being heard, but there are no answers. Like, all right, what is that? I was thinking about the truck drivers. I forget what they say. They say like Roger that or something, right? I don't know, but sometimes people get inside their heads, right? And they say, darn, we were hanging out yesterday and I was talking to John and I just didn't feel like I was being heard. And, spiritually you could just tell him, I don't want this anymore, whatever. But if you're energetically connected, you have to know that John's going to hear everything Sue says, and Sue's going to feel everything that John feels, right? And it can be very confusing. It can be very confusing on what your belief is about a said situation. The thing is we have to live by faith and hope that the message was put across. It's like planting the seed, right? We have to just stay in faith and stay steady with the Lord and hope and pray that everything works out for the best. And, you just keep living your life. So I just want to talk about that a little bit. All right, so let's get some cards out of the box. Let's see. Just want kind of one here and there. So I'll dig to the bottom, grab. Make sure I'm not grabbing like 2 in a row. Okay, so let's see what we have. Okay. Learn to heal so you can advance to heal others. So, when you heal, you can speak about what it was that was ailing you and how you healed yourself so that other people can take note and add it to their, say, list of arsenal of healing, right? Their little magic bag, their healing bag. They can take a little note and put it in there and remember it for when they come across that kind of pain, right? So prophecies, true prophetic words. There are those who speak and it manifests. So your words are very powerful. So you have to be careful what you say. And sometimes we speak our truth. Like telling your husband, right? You telling him, you know what? I'm just preparing you for your second wife. Yeah, I use those words, and I'm not sure how much it helped. I can tell you that he gave her everything that I wanted, as far as building our house up and stuff like that. But she didn't stay, so obviously he didn't learn enough lessons, or maybe she was there too. They were both there to teach each other lessons. So I'm not going to judge him or her. I know how they treated my daughter, which is a crying shame because she's the innocent one. But she's in the healing process still after all these years. So hopefully she can free herself from worrying about the past and, have a happy life. She seems very happy now. So I think she's going down the right path for her right now. I say, God bless, and God, thank you for that. Okay. My life is not over. I'm truly just beginning. So every day is a new day, and every day we decide what we want in our life. Do we desire peace in our life? Do we desire stability in our life? Do we desire people who are like-minded, who understand us, when there's so many around that don't seem to understand? And the people around that don't understand this path, it's not their time to understand. It's their time to kind of watch and learn. You know, if they're interested in what Sue's doing over there 3 blocks away, and, you know, they drive by Sue's house every day to see what she's up to. Oh, today she's washing the car. Oh, today she's planting flowers. Oh, today she's just in her house. Oh, today she's walking her dog. And people will begin to see how she's changed over time, right? And they'll say, oh, I want to be more like Sue. I'm going to start walking my dog. I'm going to start washing my car. I'm going to start planting flowers. And then when they're doing it, they're like, oh, it's hard work, but, you know, it's so rewarding, right? It's so rewarding. My dog and I get private time, just me and him or her. I feel so much better when my car's clean, and I'm saving money by not paying the fees to have the cars washed. And I'm planting flowers, and it makes the whole yard look so much better. So when I get off of work, that's the first thing I see is the flowers I planted, and I feel so much better, right? So watching and learning, the people that don't really understand you will watch you, and they will you know, they might have the other side, the jealous side, is like, who does she think she is, or whatever, you know. I hate to even bring those things up, because I hate to put that out to the universe, but you can imagine, right? Hateful people, what they say or do. But no matter what, a true, strong person, no matter what they go through, they always realize that if God grants them another day, that's another day to change. So I'm going to write that on the back of one of these cards. Okay, let me see if I can find something with that up back to it. Let's see. There's one. Okay, so that's the thing, though. Like when I learned to drive a stick shift, my sister, she had a '66 Mustang, and it, you know, it's 3 gears. Let's see, what was it? Oh, well, it's like first was up, second was down, third was up and to the right, and then reverse was all the way to the right and down. So if I wasn't stargazing or cloud chasing, I was sitting like right next to her, and I would watch how she used the pedals, right? How she would make the pedals move, and I watched her for a long time, and then well, when I got around 16, I had a boyfriend, and he had a little Pinto, and it was a stick shift, and so he taught me, but I already had been watching and learning for several years, so it was not so bad. The problem I had was with the clutch. So, you know, even in life, you know, we have to know how to use the pedals of our life, right? Using the pedals of our life. We have to know when to stop, when to put in reverse, when we need to shift so the engine doesn't rev too high, and then we can steadily go down our path, right? Okay, so next we're moving on to message from the mermaids, and we have breaking free. So when you decide that, hey God, I'm ready to break free from the matrix, I'm ready to step on the path to your holy righteousness, I'm ready to make my life better, I'm ready to accept that I turned my back on you, Lord, years ago. I'm sorry, God, I did that. But God, you already know me. You already know that I had to live my life a certain way. And Lord, there's something I'm asking of you, Lord. First, I'm asking you to forgive me for my transgressions. Help me to become a better communicator, one that is not easily upset. Help me to stay calm in the worst situation and be able to be actually helping hands instead of being part of the problem, Lord. Help me to use my intellect to find solutions that are for the most, for the best conclusion, the best help. To be able to discern who should be in my life and who shouldn't, and understand that everything happens for a reason. Help me, Lord, to find myself again, to heal myself, to become a better man or a better woman. And Lord, I'm seeking my match. And Lord, I know from my past, the people in my life were there to wake me up. They weren't there to be my forever person. They were just there to teach me a lesson. They were there to help me see that they reflect to me the things that I need to fix within myself. And Lord, when I come across those people, help me to understand that they were there to teach me a lesson, and they were there to awaken me to who I'm supposed to be, my better version, to my best version. And you just be grateful to God, and you tell God that I want to be the best version of me. Dear Lord, the best version of me. And Lord, I'm asking you to call in my match, someone who's going to love me the way that I love them. And when I love myself fully, then that person will love themselves fully as well. And together we can really build something really beautiful. And we'll just have that self-love and that self-respect that we will never allow anybody to get in between it, and we will never allow each other to hurt each other in a negative way or any way at all. It'll just be like a fairy tale kind of love, Lord, and that it'll be the best life that I could ever dream of. Dear God Almighty, help me to jump through the hoops that I need to jump through and learn the lessons. And then I'll be ready to have the one that you have for me, right? Okay, so look honestly at your situation. Are you becoming entangled without realizing it? You have the power to break free from a disempowering situation. Say no. Are you out of your depth? Perhaps you've become entangled in a difficult situation and feel there's no way out. No, there's a way to break free from any situation. All it takes is a positive mindset with a sprinkling of hope. You could be entangled in work or relationship commitments. This mermaid wants you to know it's okay to say no sometimes. Always tune in before agreeing to anything. Make sure it's the right thing for you and don't feel pressurized to do anything you instinctively know isn't right for you. Otherwise, you can become entangled in situations not of your choosing. This message also says it's the right time to break free from any psychic cords that are restricting you spiritually or physically. You can do this by asking Archangel Michael to come in and gently remove any cords, then calling on Archangel Raphael to fill those places with gentle healing light. When we cut cords, we're not removing the person or circumstances that put them there. We're simply breaking free from any cords or entanglements that aren't serving our highest good. By doing this, we're creating a clean spiritual slate with which we can begin new, healthier, and mutually beneficial connections. Someone around you might be entangled in a situation and need your intervention. Only help them if it feels safe to do so. Your involvement might be to inform a professional organization that can assist. You might be just the person to set the wheels in motion. Okay? So breaking free. Breaking free, it really takes a strong mind and a strong will. And understanding that you've done all you can in that situation. And you realize that, you can't make anybody do anything they don't want to do. So that's when you get to choose, is this what I want in my life, or do I not want it? You know, and it's hard when you go back. It's after I leave a situation, you know, as much as I may love that person and wish them the best, I don't want to go back. It's like when you go back, it gives them the power, right? Even if you haven't really relinquished the power to them, it gives them the power saying, oh, well, you know, I did this. You know, I did this. This happened. And last week, you know, John told me, you know what, Sue, if you do this, whatever, again, or if you ever do this in our relationship, I'm going to end it, right? And Sue pushes the envelope, and it happens, right? She does something that John clearly said, you know, if we're going to be together, then, you know, can you work on this? Or, you know, you have to understand that if this ever happens, I have to walk away from my own, to keep my heart whole, right? I can't afford another heartbreak, sticking around and watching someone do something bad or see something bad happen out of someone else's actions. And, you know, when you go back, it gives them the power. It lets them know that, well, his word really is flexible. His word, he meant good for himself or good for others or whatever the situation is, but he will backpedal for me. And we don't want to do that. We want to elevate, and we're hoping that our partner will follow our lead. You know, sometimes they say that man matures slower than the woman. And when the man maturely, you know, when they both feel like, okay, you know, I'm happy where we're at, we've grown a lot, you take the lead. I don't really want to be the man in this relationship or the mom in this relationship or whatever. And it doesn't mean that the man does everything. It means that the man has accepted that maybe he hasn't been doing his share because of his maturity. And now it could be a little more equal, but how long are you willing to wait? How long are you willing to wait for the relationship to move from a stagnant or backpedaling situation into a forward movement? You know, so those are all things that we have to decide for each of us, right? My first one was 19 years. And my second one was 16 years. And I kept accepting, I kept, what do you call that? Settling. I kept doing extra to make ends meet. And it really didn't matter how much I did. I was denied love. That's pretty much it in a ball of wax. You know, when you ask someone, can you just love me? And I don't mean the physical thing. I mean, just naturally do nice things for someone you love, right? And it actually takes me back to living in Delaware. And Jeff Miller, God bless his soul, he died when me and Chris were living back there. And his parents were neighbors to Chris's mom. And Chris was a manager at a big box store. And so his mom said, oh, you know, our neighbor, their son Jeff's moved down here from Pennsylvania and he needs a job. So Chris told him to go put an application in, and he hired him, and he was a driver. And like appliance delivery. And so Jeff Miller, you know, he had an alcoholic problem. And it came a time where Jeff kept saying he kept having these headaches. And it was like he couldn't even go to work because his head hurt so bad. And Chris thought it was like because he was hungover or something. And I saw Jeff one day. I said, you know, you should go to the doctor and just have him look you over, you know, like do some blood work or something. He's like, yeah, I missed so much time, you know, that I would feel bad about asking, you know. And I said, you know, you need to take care of yourself. You need to know why you're having all these headaches. And so he had asked Chris for like, if he could borrow like $40 or something. And Chris gave it to him. And like the following weekend, he stopped over. And you know, I answered the door and I said, oh, Chris, you know, Jeff's at the door. And so Chris went to the door and he saw, Jeff gave him the $40. He's like, he saw all these plants because he had like a little flatbed, little trailer. He had all these flowers back there. Jeff says, you know, I'm 50-something years old and I've been nothing but trouble to my parents. He said, I took part of my paycheck and I bought all these flowers. He says, I've never done it for my mom before, ever. But I'm going to plant flowers around her place this weekend. And then he gave Chris the $40 he owed him, you know. And so that's what he did. He went home to his mom's house. He planted these beautiful spring flowers all around. And they were annuals. And so, you know, we took notice to him when we went and saw Chris's mom. And then, you know, we saw Jeff later and we were like, oh, you did a good job. Your mom's place looks so nice. And then the following weekend came and I guess he was due for work. So it's like work called him on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and he didn't answer. So, you know, they called the police department and did one of those well check visits. And, you know, they found him dead. They found him dead, and he had an aneurysm. So, you know, I'm not trying to freak anybody out, okay? But if somebody tells you to go to the doctor and check it out, that, especially if you haven't been to the doctor in quite some time, you should go and spend the $100 or spend the time off to go to the doctor. And the one thing that I have to say about Jeff is, spiritually, I kind of think he knew it was his time. Because maybe God was telling him, you better do something nice for your mom because I'm getting ready to call you. And he said he never did anything kind for his mother. But he did that one thing that touched her heart so much. And, you know, some of those annuals actually came back the next year. So it was like, hey, Mom, I'm just letting you know I'm still here with you. So just take care of yourself. Make sure you get enough sleep. Make sure that you stop doing those things. You know, drugs, alcohol, eating the wrong foods, watching the wrong things on your TV. Whatever is negative, you got to just completely stop it. And anyways, I just thought I'd share that with you. I think energetically people know. So it's like one act of kindness that he showed to his mother. He was on this earth like 52 years. And that's what his stepfather said. You know, Jeff was always a problem. Jeff always had issues. But he did this one beautiful, beautiful thing before God took him. So, that's definitely a blessing in disguise, right? Animal messages. It's a blessing in disguise because, well, maybe that was his way to heaven. I don't know, I'm not God. But it was a beautiful thing for his mom to have that one super beautiful thing to remember about her son. Moving forward, we have the chameleon. But yeah, I was after Jeff every time I saw him. Have you gone to the doctor? No. I know. You know, I'd never want to tell someone, oh, you know, you better go to the doctor, you might die. Like, I don't know, that's kind of creepy to say. But, okay, the chameleon. Conceal ambition with patience until it is time to make your move. Chameleon is at one with herself and her world, her senses subtle, artful, otherworldly, her very skin sensing her environment and mimicking the colors that surround her. Be aware of subtle energies, the etheric vibrations that emanate from us all, psychic visions from afar, and trust to their message. In the tricky world of business, bide your time. Become gray and unnoticeable. Perfectly positioned to assess the myriad currents and independent ambitions at play, and only then, like chameleon striking a fly, make your move. Okay, so keep everything silent till you're ready to make your move. Okay, so that's a hard lesson I learned because with this project I wanted to get off the ground. You know, I really wanted it to be a family business, and well, the people I shared it with either turned a blind eye or they tried to take it. So but you know, I say God protects me. Okay, so I pre-shuffled all of these, and at the bottom was the birth. I'm not going to keep it. I just thought I'd show. Yeah, you have to be mindful of who you're sharing your secrets with. You know, because those are very well messages from God. You know, that, you know, I want you to have this. You know, I want you to take this idea and run with it. I want you to build it. You'll have all the ancestors behind you, because it's a God-given gift, right? To have a whatever you're searching for come to fruition, and it's there at your fingertips. So I mean, I realized that I actually had a website in Hawaii. It couldn't come to fruition because if it came to fruition that year, I'd have to share it with my now ex-husband. So, and I think it was active. It was active before our divorce was final. So that's why. Let's see. Okay, Oracle Delphi is at the bottom now. And that's why it wasn't to be successful, so that he could have it. You know, I'd have to share it with him, right? So I believe that I'm having my soul tribe. You know, I have a few at hand that I could really depend on, and you know, I try to be there for them, and they certainly have been there for me. So I'm blessed to have the people in my life, even though I don't see them every day, even though we don't talk. The connection's there. So, you know, I'm okay with it. I'm doing my work here, doing the spiritual readings for all of you, and I'm enjoying my life as it is, and I'm not one to not grovel. Well, I don't really prefer to grovel for anything, you know. Some people might want you to grovel. Oh, you want to borrow $100? Come over in front of me and grovel. Let's see if I give it to you, you know. And, you know, those people who have actually done that to me, you know, that's between you and God, what you did to a child of God, you know. And I don't hate anybody. It's not worth hating anybody. It's not worth my energy. You know, people don't seem to understand that. Okay, so at the bottom now I see Akashic Field or Akashic Library. All right, so we are we're only 38 minutes in. Okay. Let me see. So I think we figured out the keys are coins, because it seems like those have the most about items. Like the Two of Keys is having your things taken from you, something stolen. The Forces speaks about breaking up, so that would be like the Eight of Forces is. I don't know. For some reason, I think the Forces are swords. The Roses are definitely cups. And I want to say the Scrolls are wands. Or maybe the Forces are wands and the Scrolls is swords because it's a message, right? The scrolls have messages. So maybe that's what it's supposed to be. Just change that. The scrolls are messages. They're written things that have instruction. So the forces must be wands. And the scrolls is swords. Alright, let's see that how that feels when we start doing these readings. Okay, Spirit, thank you for being here with us. Thank you, ancestors, spirit guides, archangels, and all the angels that come around this reading to protect all of the collective and their loved ones, as well as myself. Thank you, God. What messages? Two of Roses. Now see, that talks about messages, right? But I still think the roses is love. Okay, at the bottom we have the Queen of Squirrels. We had the Queen of Squirrels last time. So let's read the Two of Roses. A white dove carries a message in his beak and flies high above a table laid out for tea. One of the teacups has fallen over and there are broken pieces of china on the table below the dove. A hawk flies into the scene with a message in his beak. This card indicates a small conflict in your home or family. It could involve you or another or others in your extended family. There could be money issues about the home, an inheritance, or personal finances. The dove brings a message from your spirit, a call to see this little drama through your higher mind and compassionate heart. You may feel compelled to be the peacemaker or the provider in the situation. Let yourself do as your spirit guides you. The hawk, a predator, shows that there are times when you might have a tendency to be pulled into the fray yourself. With the hawk entering from the right, it certainly indicates that more challenges may be coming your way. Happily, your spirit is high above those challenges, so you can see them clearly and deal with them effectively. With a deep breath, bring your focus within you and feel the brilliant, pure white energy of your higher self as you feel the sense of radiant being. Invite a message from your spirit about any personal concern that lies before you at this time. Whether you get a word, a feeling, or an image, let yourself receive the message immediately. Okay, the special note is saying to look at the card behind and look at the card forward to see if there's anything that you need to know. Okay. Yeah, it says look at the next card. Okay, so that almost sounds like that the roses actually would be the swords. But I still think it's... we'll have to figure that out. So we have the two of roses. Spirit, what else do you want us to know? That there may be more conflict coming, more obstacles, more situations to further awaken us. Okay, the Queen of Roses. So we saw the Queen of Scrolls, and now we see the Queen of Roses, and there's Archangel Michael. Okay, the Queen of Roses. Let's see what she has to say. This card shows a beautiful woman with roses in her hair, and all around her a beautiful scene expands outside, but she is peacefully focusing on the flower in hand. The Queen of Roses signifies a woman who is loving and supportive, but with a passionate side as well. This is a card of a loving connection. A relationship with someone you know may deepen and become more meaningful, or someone new may appear. Be open to the connection. It may be a romantic one, or it might be that a friend, family member, or co-worker is going to be helpful and valuable to you in some way. The Queen of Roses can represent you or a woman in your life stepping into the role of wife or mother at this time. It's a time for loving energy to be voiced. This card upright sometimes shows a happy resolution to a difficulty with family, a friend, or a love relationship. The time for peaceful, loving connections is at hand, so open your heart to the expression of caring within or around you. Close your eyes and step into the energy of the Queen of Roses. Get to know that caring power and gentle temperament. Feel compassion fill you and notice your desire to bring a loving embrace to yourself and to the world. Okay, so that's definitely love, right? Okay, let's see what else we have. Thank you, Spirit. So we must have the sections done right now. We have to go through some more readings to make sure of that. Okay. Spirit, what else do you want us to know? The Ark of the Covenant. Okay. That's our first major arcana. So we've got 2 roses, and now major arcana, and then we have the Lookout. But I'm not going to pull any from the bottom. I'm just going to show you. Today's going to be a little bit different. Okay, the Ark of the Covenant. Number 11. So be thankful for everything you have, for all the love that you have in your life. The true love, right? Okay. The stars are shining on a serene desert night. Fires burn before a number of white tents. Inside one of the tents, just beyond the open front flaps, rests the Ark of the Covenant. 2 men sit by a crackling fire nearby. At the most mundane level, this card can represent a beneficial legal contract or title transfer. It also can show successfully working with professionals such as brokers and lawyers. More often, it indicates that you are living true to your own karmic contract, facing your lessons of growth, working toward greater discoveries, and bringing your unique contribution to the world. Your karma does not rule you, you rule it. When the work becomes too great, taking a rest doesn't break with your covenant, it supports it. You understand the phases of time and energy, and you work within those phases. Some of your karmic directives at this time may involve other people. If so, make sure there is no urgency, need, or personal agenda in play. Don't let yourself get pulled into an emotional drama. Know that the things that require your attention now reflect a commitment that has a far-reaching influence that may impact your present as well as your future lives. So continue to work toward your highest purpose, to uphold the sacred covenant you have to touch the world with your light. Close your eyes and imagine the Ark of the Covenant opening before you. Within it, you see the contract that contains your highest purpose. What is that purpose? Sense one word and one action you can take today to pursue it. Do you know what your purpose is? What do you dream about your purpose to be? Maybe you have a mind for inventing things. Have you thought of something that no one has ever thought of? What would it take to bring it to fruition? Well, you'd have to do like a mock-up, right? You'd have to, like if it's, say if it has something to do with construction, like it has to be constructed, right? It has to be manufactured. You'd have to make up a miniature one or something and see how it works in the situation that you want to bring forth, right? And then you would want to get it patented. And those involved with the thought process, with the building, they would have to sign like some sort of waiver saying, I will never speak about this. And I will never trade the secret, right? And, you know, hopefully the people that you have involved with you, that you share it with, are in agreement with that. And, you know, maybe you'll want to share the wealth with them, right? So if you have like this super cool idea that no one has ever thought of, you can go ahead and patent it now. And then you can work on building it. And so even if you're the first one to patent it, and it has a name and it has a job that it does, then no one else could ever take it from you. It'll always be your idea coming to fruition. And, you know, it could very well be something that'll make you a billionaire, because it's something that people need or something people want, right? Someone, I don't know. I'm just having this thought process right now, and I think someone needs to hear that. So if someone calls you and says, oh look, reflection. If someone calls you and says, hey Sue, guess what? At the bottom is 7 of squirrels. So I'm talking about building, right? So maybe I should read that one too. The ego is right behind it. So whoever has their ego like way up there, they need to realize that they need to temper it down. I mean, I guess everybody has to have a certain amount of ego, but don't let it override, you know, the God within you, right? You know, when you open your heart up to God, God comes in you. So, you know, I think that's where people get confused with the Bible, is God came into Jesus. Jesus already knew what his path was. So yes, Jesus holds a special place with God. He did something that no one in this world did at those times, right? To die for someone's sins. Right, he died for many people's sins. That was his, you know, to bring light to the world through his sacrifice. Okay, so if you've watched me for a while, and I'm not trying to diminish Jesus' work here, okay? That's the last thing I ever want to do. But, okay, so when we were living in Hawaii and Chris was working on the new project, it was supposed to be 48 floors, but they only got up to like 20 or something. And it was a father-son team. And the father was up near the existing new building being built. And his son was in the middle of the, you might as well say, playground, right? The construction site. And so the father went down to his son and he's like, son, today I want you to be up there. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here in this spot right here. I don't want you here. I want you up there. So what happened was whoever wasn't watching, So you figure you have all these supervisors around, right? Everybody's supposed to be supervising their crews. So you have the crane operator, and then you have the rigger. And then you have the concrete truck with the metal thing that with the long hose that they use to pour the concrete, right? Somebody wasn't watching. I mean, I guess there's a whole bunch of people not watching, because the rigger evidently signaled to the crane operator. I don't know, I wasn't there, but I would imagine the crane operator doesn't move until he receives a signal from the rigger. So if everything goes the way that part goes, then the rigger wasn't watching out, but he evidently instructed the crane operator to pull his stuff up. And you know, there's like, you can do like little pinch marks, right? Like slowly up, or you use your finger up like that, like take it, you know. So the crane's hook got caught on the concrete pump stuff, and it pulled it up, and it was like a bow and arrow, right? When you pull it back, right? Eventually it either breaks or lets go, and that concrete piece of equipment came crashing on top of his dad's head, and everybody was freaked out. I can only imagine. Chris called the office because he was working for the developer. He's like, "You guys better get down here. Someone just died." And they're like, "Chris, quit playing around." And he was like using the F word. He's like, "Why in the F would I say somebody died, you know, like, and make it a joke?" And then they heard the sirens and they knew, yeah, you know, he's telling the truth. So it was the only death on that job. And they say for every high-rise, there's at least one death. And so, you know, they let all the people go. After the ambulance comes, you know, they have covered up the poor guy. And, you know, Chris came home and he's like, he was shocked. He's like, "They just covered him up." I was like, "Chris, what did you want them to do?" You know, they you know, obviously he couldn't be saved if his head was cut in half, you know. And he was just freaked out. He's like, everybody left. They were all crying, freaked out and everything. And they had the place blessed. So they get like a Samoan or Hawaiian woman to come and do a ritual to cleanse the spirit, right? Let the spirit know that you know, if he's still around, right? To let him know it's okay to release yourself, you know, go to the light. I'm not sure. I've never been to one of those ritual prayer events or anything like that, but Chris just couldn't get over what he just witnessed. And I was like, "Chris, you have to find the good in there." He's like, "What effing good can you find from that?" Yeah, I said, "Didn't you just tell me that the Father was up there and the Son was down there?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Don't you think the Father would want to be up there and watch his son die? His son still had so many years." So I believe, like, energetically, right? Just the story with Jeff, energetically, you know, he was told, you know, you need to take the place. You know, you either sacrifice your son or you become the sacrifice so your son could live, right? It's no coincidence. We are all spiritually connected. We all get God, you know, tapping on our shoulder. "Hey, wake up. When are you going to call me into your home? When are you going to call me into your life? When are you going to call me into your heart? I'm here, knocking at your door." So anyways, you know, Chris felt some sort of relief that way. You know, it's like, yeah, you're right. It's like, no matter what bad thing happens in life, you have to search for the good. You know, when my mom died, do you think I wanted her to die? Of course not. But my mom wanted peace. My mom didn't want to have to worry anymore. She worried about her health. She worried about how she's going to make ends meet. She worried about raising her kids. She worried about what what was going to happen next that was going to negatively impact her life. She was tired. She had 11 kids. Now, if we all prayed for her to be well, right, that would be one thing. But everything well would have to mean that all of her children and all of her siblings and her husband would all have to really show her love, that none of us are really taught how to love, right? My mom didn't have enough love to go around. She barely had any love for herself. So when I say my mom is in a better place, I say my mom's in a better place. That I choose to accept that although my life has been a certain way, that she left me in the best that she could leave me. And I had to find the good reasons, what little things that she shared with me as really, really good memories. It's a choice in how you feel. It's a choice in, do I want a chip on my shoulder? Do I want to live as a victim? Do I want to cry out to the world? Yeah, I lost my mother when I was 12. Knowing that there's other people who lost their mothers when they were much younger. Some people were younger and lost both their parents. Some people are actually lost both their parents and they didn't have any aunties or uncles to help them. So they had to go into orphanage. You know, I had to think about how thankful I was for what I had, the years that I had with her, and how I survived it. So, it's a choice. It's always a choice in how your life's going. And as long as you hold on to negative things, then expect more negative things to come into your life. Okay, so I'm just trying to tell it like it is. And your mind controls what happens in your future. So if you have any negative thoughts, you know, I could be like throwing negative thoughts at my cousin and say, I hate this or I hate that. You know what I mean? But you know, why would I want to do that? If he or she is successful, why would I want to do that? Because there's something wrong with me. There's something that I haven't healed within to make me talk like that about someone else. And it could be a perfect stranger. It doesn't have to be a cousin or a sibling. What we think in our mind will manifest in the future. If you write that down on a little sticky and put it in your bathroom when you go in there to shave or brush your hair or brush your teeth, you know, and put a little sticky on your refrigerator for when you go to prepare your dinner or get something to drink, it'll make your life better. Do I want to be a victim or do I want to be a survivor? You know, what do I see in my future? I see beautiful, beautiful things in the future. I'm looking 7 generations down. You know, I don't even know if my daughter's going to give me a grandchild, but maybe I'm looking 7 generations down for my grandma, you know. Okay, so think positive. If you have a negative thought, throw it out, because the devil will try to inject negativity and try to get you to choose sides, choose the other side, okay? And eventually he'll get you to do something that costs you your soul, okay? Intricacies in industry. Work on Renaissance Cathedral has just begun. At first the building seems modest, but in its time its grandeur will reach several stories high and across the centuries, but now piles of stone and rock dot the scene. A mason bends, focusing intently on a plumb bob that hangs next to a partially built wall. This instrument helps him determine if the wall is straight and true. At a very basic level, this card could indicate building or renovating a home or business. This card also shows that you're on your way to greatness, but it requires attending to even the tiniest of particulars. Be diligent with the specifics in your strategy and pay considerable attention to detail and follow through. While you may have a long-term goal in mind, the small steps are what's important now. Even the most magnificent cathedrals were built by stone by stone, day by day. It's only by heaping up the small that the great can be achieved. Okay, so it's saying look at neighboring cards to see how it would apply to building this long-term goal. Okay, there is a situation in your life that requires your attention to detail right now. Close your eyes and imagine that this situation is a puzzle in pieces on a table in front of you. Imagine the individual pieces and sense what you notice and feel about them. Okay. So it's funny, I was watching a reading yesterday, and it said something about drinking tequila. Like, there's a message for someone, whoever's drinking tequila needs to stop. And I just kind of giggled to myself, well, that was me back in the day. I don't drink tequila anymore. And so my daughter called me, and she's talking about her travel to Michigan. And she mentioned about drinking, not drinking tequila, but drinking something else, vodka. I was like, I thought you said you quit drinking. She's like, Mom, I just think I need to for this situation. So she was telling me about the pre-wedding celebration and the things that she couldn't understand how it was going in such a weird way. And then, I don't know, just the whole thing is kind of weird for her. But I asked her how the weather was in Michigan, and they both said it's great. Everything's green there, and they got beautiful lakes. You know, they got Superior Lake there, and they were talking about other lakes. So I said, good for you. You get to do some traveling. Traveling's good. Traveling gives you a whole new perspective on life. You know, if you're able to travel, you know, some people are blessed they could travel 2 or 3 times a year. You know, go see family members or go see longtime friends. It's great to reunite with people that you have a closeness with, you know. Sometimes friends are closer than family kind of thing. And so I say hats off to all of you who are in the traveling kind of, I forgot. Oh, okay. This came out upside down. Okay, so I'm going to read it. So whatever I read, it's going to be opposite unless there's the reverse. I think there might be the reverse in there. Okay, so let's pull the actual card that we're going to use. 4 of forces. So we have 4 of roses and 4 forces. On the bottom we have will, wisdom, and mind. Okay, so the 4 of roses. Yeah, these have the reversed ones in it. Let's see. 4 of roses. When it jumped out, it landed on the Bible upside down. Okay. So, not that you needed to know, I just thought I'd share it with you. Okay. 4 of roses. This card reversed reveals a serious split from the fun-loving child within, from your own spirit, and from your union with the natural world. It's also a time when you seem to have lost your enthusiasm for life. Try not to take things too seriously. It's important to find a joyful purpose, something that truly makes your heart sing. Bless you, Tombo. meditate more, do the things that make you happy, and open your heart to your own radiant self and to the dancing, happy beings who are only a breath away. Okay? Open your heart to your own radiant self and to the dancing, happy beings who are only a breath away. Okay. So it sounds like maybe someone got their ego hurt, and I don't know. Let me read that again. Okay. Oh. I was reading the wrong one. Okay, no wonder it didn't make sense. Views of the ego, reversed. Your tolerance of a self-serving person's behavior has come to an end. You have realized that some lack in your own definition of self has attracted this person who is unable to give. You are ready to give to yourself. You are now more aware of your priorities and you're ready to take the action that honors you. No longer are you willing to be neglected or minimized. You might falter a little bit, but be strong and take the steps to put this person behind you. During this time, whenever your ego causes you to feel lack in your life, say thank you for the reminder to turn to your eternal truth in that moment. Say to yourself, abundance is the condition of my life. Fill yourself, fill with the love and power that are inexhaustible. It is only when you treat yourself better that you declare to the universe that you deserve better. Wow, what a beautiful card. Okay, so we have 4 of roses upside down, and now we have the 4 of autumns, or 4 forces, spring and autumn. It's crazy I read the wrong one, because it didn't make sense. Like, let me read that again. Okay. Thank God you all understand that I'm only human, right? Oh, good Lord. Okay. The spring card upright shows a budding tree and flowers beginning to bloom. It is one of the seasonal cycle cards, and it indicates that you are entering a time of planting and active preparation. Just as the spring is a very full time for the farmer who is tilling the ground and planting his crop. So let yourself put in a little more effort now as you lay the groundwork for the time ahead. This could be a very creative period for you. Take action in creative projects or work-related endeavors that require more time and attention. The work you do now could yield great rewards later. Make sure you engage in this extra activity with joy and optimism. You are always planting your energy into the Akashic records of your life. So as you work toward your goals, remember to plant hope and happiness along with the action you take. All right, so we're 1 hour and 13. All right, let's just pull 2 cards and we'll move over to the Tattoo Tarot. And we will pull some cards, see if we can get some clarifying cards. How many cards did I say? 3? Okay. 1, 2. Let me shuffle these a couple more times. And we'll see what's at the bottom, too. The Karmic Trench. Karmic Trench talks about where you go when you put yourself in some trouble. How did you get there? Who was involved? What role did you play in it? How are you going to get yourself out of it? Are you going to take any lessons? Are you going to understand that it's the people that you invited into your life that had something to do with it, if they in fact did? And how are you going to get out of there and learn a lesson? And what wisdom will you take from that situation? And next time you get there, you'll know how to get out, right? That's what that card is. So hopefully, you know, none of us are perfect. So the karmic trench is there to put us in a place. For some reason, this is... There, that's better. Has it been blurry that whole time? I'm so sorry. It's to help us realize, you know, when we meet people, I can only refer to like my life, okay? So it might resonate for you or it doesn't. In my life, when I've been in a karmic trench, it was for me to learn to stop being a people pleaser, to give love and show love to those who give and show love to me, like equal give and take. It's to have that unconditional love for someone else, whether it be, you know, an actual companion or a relative or a friend, you know, like it could be like a girlfriend, right? It could be whatever it is, but to have that unconditional love for each other and not judge. You know, sometimes our minds will put us in a place where, you know, like, I wouldn't want to live that way, but I don't really think it's judging them. It's taking a look at their life and how they're living, and would that be acceptable for you? And, you know, and then I have to think about, wow, if I'm thinking that about that person, they must be thinking that about me. You know what I mean? So that's an actual, a real thing. It could be a real thing, right? But the idea is to not judge people and take them for who they are, and keep the ones that you give to and they give back to you equally. And it never has to be, you know, well, you know, last week I bought you a ham, and this week you only bought me a turkey, and there's a $10 difference. Okay, it's nothing like that. I mean, I guess it can be for people who want to be petty, but it's not me. That's not what I'm trying to portray. And I'm not saying because you have $100,000, if I give you 10, then you should give me 200. And I'm not implying that either. I'm just saying that your interactions, you know, how you feel when you're with that person, do they in fact add to your energy, or do they take it away? Okay, so that's the whole thing too. Energy never lies. You know, you have to be very aware, right? You have to be so aware. You know, sometimes it's even your energy could be like this beautiful feeling that people feel whenever they're around you, right? And that they reflect that back to you. But in fact, they could be someone who is undermining. They could be someone who is backstabbing. They could be, you know, because they love being around you. They love your energy, right? And then, of course, there's the narcissist that will do something to make you mad, right? To piss you off. And it takes you out of character of who you really, truly want to be in your life. You know, you don't want to be that ugly person, right? You already were that ugly person 10 years ago or 20 years ago, you know. You don't want to go back there. You want to be proud of who you are today and not let people take that away from you, the dignity that you put into yourself. But so, yeah, so there's like 3 ways, right? There's, like I said, I just have to reiterate just to make sure that we're all clear, including myself, okay? There's the energy that you share with someone that when you're with them, you feel like, oh, he has great energy and she has great energy, and they're best friends, or they're neighbors, or they're their relatives or whatever it is, right? The energy is shared, you know, the love is shared. It doesn't even have to be really spoken because the love's there. Okay, and then, but, you know, it's nice to speak, right? Hey, you know, I just want to let you know I love you, you know, have a good day. Okay, so then there's the other kind where they love your energy. So then they're reflecting good energy back to you, right? But when you walk away and when you take away your energy, they turn back to the miserable person that they were, right? Then there's a narcissist who will piss you off. They'll say like things to trigger you, and then you'll go off and be mad. So they're basically saying, oh, here's my crappy energy. Listen to my words. I'm sending you this crappy energy. And they'll say something, and then you lash back. And then they're all happy that they got your goat. And actually there's the fourth one where that same narcissist does the same thing, and you laugh at their face. You know, you might look at them and say, I laugh at the face of the devil, and laugh and turn around and walk away. You get to take your power back. Okay? So there's different ways you could look at it. So I forget. Okay, this one came first. Oh, that one popped out. And then the Akashic Record. So we already seen these. Well, I told you I saw them. And then we have the chess game. And I'm sorry I went so close, but let me read this to you. Will, Wisdom, and Mind, Major Arcana. A gold crown of power and authority rests above a Celtic Trinity knot. On either side of the Celtic knot are the alchemical symbols for fire and water. Below is the ancient three-legged symbol of the coat of arms from the Isle of Man. This card brings with it a time of enormous power, balance, and expression. The first three rays, or the energies of the divine, move within you equally. Power and will, love and wisdom, and intellect or mind. You are working intimately, even if you're not conscious of it, with the ascended masters who are linked to these energies. With the participation of the masters, you can raise your focus to a higher purpose, a higher power and purpose. You can combine the fire of creativity with the water of receptivity in order to make your contribution to the world. With the gold crown raised high, you're likely to find yourself in a significant position of authority and influence at this time. It is likely to be a phase of great activity, but you can handle it. With these powers in play, you're able to discipline yourself to bring together the meditation, creativity, rest, and action required. Take advantage of this time and use these powers well. There are nothing less than the divine forces moving through you so that you can manifest their power in the world. The power, heart, and mind of God dwell within you. Close your eyes and feel these divine forces. Your energy grows, your heart overflows with love, and your mind is as boundless as the sky. Feel yourself expand to limitlessness. Okay. The Akashic Library. Oh, wow. Akashic Library number 2. Inside a great library, candles cast a glow upon the books and the tall shelves. A sage sits thoughtfully with an open book on his table and a quill pen in hand. Sometimes this card can indicate writing or publishing a book for you. But this card also symbolizes a new initiation, an ability to manifest a new life in every way. You have moved deeper into the Akashic records and to a higher self-awareness. Further investigation may be required, but you now have a better understanding of your old motives and new purposes. It's also a time of heightened intuition as well as greater self-creation. During this phase, all you have to do is add a little conscious effort to write your new records in the Akasha. To get started today, write one simple declaration about the future you wish to create and repeat it to yourself often. Then decide one thing you can do to make it happen and do it. Anything can happen now. The breadth of the landscape before you rests solely on the scope of your imagination, or the scope of your imagination, and your will to own it. As you close your eyes, envision yourself stepping into the most beautiful, serene of all ancient libraries. Imagine yourself taking a book from a shelf and opening it to a page. Notice the first word that comes to you. What does it tell you? How does it feel? Remember to visit this mystical library often and tap into the expansive wisdom that is yours. Okay, so the chess game. The chess game is about the people who you work with, people who you associate with in that capacity. So you have two teams, okay? Whether you're on the left team or the right team, it doesn't really matter. The team, the individuals have chosen a side. However, those individuals on that side that you chose, same as the other side, they all have their own motives. Are they really thinking about the what's best for the whole, or are they saying, how can I benefit from moving in this position? Okay, so it's a realization after being in this group, after working with these whoever they are in your life in whatever capacity. They show their true colors, and they show you eventually that, you know, maybe you thought they were on your side because they were on your side, but they still had their own motive to get near you. Okay, so that's how I'm going to read that today. So let's move on. I'm going to keep those cards out for the moment, and we're going to pull out of the Tattoo Tarot, and I pre-shuffled those, and let's see if we could get some confirming messages. So I want to thank you all again for being with me, and I hope that some value is coming out for you to use, how you're going to learn some lessons, what's in your future, realizing the acceptance of you can't change people, that they have to want to change for themselves, realizing it doesn't matter how much love you have for them. I mean, it does, and love can change people, but it's at their own speed. You know, if they want to stay in second gear and you want to go into third, guess what? You know, you should just go on into third and maybe go up the road and take a rest, you know. Give them a little bit time to catch up, or just keep on trucking, right? You know, a truck driver can't say, hey, you know, I got to put this load on hold because I'm waiting for Sue to come up, you know. They got to get that shipment down to where they promised it would be. Down, across, up, whatever it is. So keep moving in the direction you're moving. And if God wants him or her on your path, he will certainly have them take a flight to meet you, okay? So think about it that way, right? The leap of faith. The leap of faith, you know, until a person's ready to go into that third gear. Oh, it's so crazy how I have all of this regarding a stick shift, right? Because people don't know too much about stick shifts this day and age. You know, when I worked for UPS, yeah, they had stick shifts. You know, so you figure I'm about 5'2". Back in the day, I was about 135 pounds back then. And so I was a tiny little thing. And shifting those gears, running all those packages around. The next morning when I got up, my hands were always swollen. I had from shifting. Now they got everything. before you used to have to handwrite the street number and the first 3 or 4 letters of that street. And then you'd have to sort your own truck out. They probably still kind of do that. The sorters, when it comes off the conveyor belt, they kind of throw them into your truck, but they don't put it in actual order. You've got to go in there and do it yourself. And so now they have the machines to scan everything. You don't have to write anything down. So it's a different world out there. And they get paid a whole lot more. Back in the day, it was only $11.01 to start. Now I think probably to start is probably like $30 an hour to start being a driver. I don't really know, but I know they can make close to 6 figures. They've been there for a while. Plus their stock options. Okay, so let's see what we got. We're going to pull 5 cards. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. And then we'll look at the bottom. Hold on, I'm going to do this one more time. The bottom is the Fool, taking the leap of faith. Okay, 3 of Cups. This is the celebration card. In my mind, I see it as 2 who have, God makes sure He gives them a 3rd cup. So 2 people have enough love to go around to each other, and if one's running short, then they have that to rely on. I don't know why I look at it that way. That's what I look at it. Okay, so if it fits your story, that's great news. Next we have the 4 of Coins. So now we have 444 because we have 2 4s from the other. This is inheritance. It could be spiritually, it could be financially, it could be both. It could be physically, right? Because to have physical wealth means your body is going to be around a long while, as long as you don't abuse it, right? So that's inheritance. What was that? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's how I look at the card now. It really means celebration, but in my mind, I say this is 2 people that really love each other. God gives them an extra cup to make sure that the love between them never runs out. And again, that could be spiritual, physical, or financial. And maybe it could be all 3. And I say, yeah, that's coming in pretty fast. And the Hermit. The Hermit is someone who doesn't probably really talk a lot, but they probably go off by themselves and they think, wow, that was a great experience I had with that person. And look what we have to go into the future. And I've put in work, and I know I'm always going to have to put in work. And I'm finding out that that person's worth it. And he says, yeah, that Sagittarius is worth it. Right? So, being a match, right? They both are major arcanas. They're 2 different people. They're 2 different people. Okay. So it's almost as if someone was looking in their future, right? I want that love that never runs out, the cup never runs dry. They're looking in their future. God, can I have this? Hey God, can you tell me what it's going to take for me to have this? And God, I don't mean to be selfish because you know I don't ask for much, but God, can I have this too? I've been a good girl. I've been a good boy. I'm turning into a beautiful woman who's very vibrant, you know, who's full of life now, who has gone through herself and gone through the fact that I've learned so much on this journey, Lord. And it's a journey that has really enriched my life. Can I have that too, Lord? Can I have this and this, Lord? Can I have that? Can I have that? God says, child, of course you can. Let's start a new cycle. You've put all that behind you, and so has he. So he might be a Virgo, right? Doesn't have to be. And I'm Sagittarius. Okay, so let me read these two for you real quick. Well, actually, I'll read all of these because it's not that many. The Three of Cups. Happy, gathering, social activity, group effort, victory, problems resolved, wounds and painful memories healed, pleasure of life, joyous family, support from siblings, cousins, peers, conclusions. So, to me, it still says, you know, the one that loves me equally, the one I love equally. However, God, you know, God gives us an extra little cup so we never run out. So that may be for you, okay? So I explain it. That's kind of how I see it for some reason. I used to see it as a third party, but for some reason now I see it this way. So maybe someone has prayed for this. God, I need a love that never runs out. And God, if I could have this inheritance, this abundance, mind, body, and soul, can I have this abundance in spiritual, financial, physical, right? Lord, can I have that? Lord, you know, there's been times in my life where, you know, my grandparents left me something, you know, really on both sides. When my mom died, I really didn't get anything. My sister sent me some things later. And since I had a daughter, I sent it all to her. And, you know, I wanted my daughter to have those things that her grandma, you know, wore. And even my daughter was stripped of things, so. Okay. 4 of Coins. Inheritance, gift, win, grant, or benefit. Status through wealth, financial protection and security. Insurance. Okay. So, if it's taken too far, or if it's turned upside down, it could be fear of destitution and loss. You can become mean. It could be a comfort zone trap, or you can become a hoarder. Okay, so let's not think about those things. Let's think about inheritance, gift, win, grant, or benefit. Okay, so that's what it is. God, I've done all the work. If there's anything else you need me to do, just please let me know. I know that I'm never going to be completely healed. But if you could just bring me the love that loves me equally with a little cup so that we never run out. God, can I have this mind, body, and soul, financial, spiritual, physical inheritance? I want to live to be 90 and still be exercising, still have good health. I want to live to be 100. I want to still hold on to my mind. I want to have be in the best shape so that I can endure reaching that age and being healthy. Lord, you know it's going to take finances for me to live the kind of life that you have for me, right? God, you want me to travel the world. You want me to speak to many people. You want me to touch people's hearts through my stories about how God is alive and how God touched my heart and how God changed my life. God is real, right? It's going to take money for that. God says, yeah, of course, my son, my daughter, you've done so good on yourself. I'm so proud of you. Yes, you're going to have someone in your life who carries this. You're going to be different, but you're going to have a lot of things in common. You both are going to be seekers. You're both going to want wisdom and inspiration from above or within. You both will be vigilant. You both will be truthers, truth seekers. And it's a spiritual quest. Okay. And I say they both are going to have that because they're going to be sharing it between each other. So there's going to be moderation with the temperance, self-control, economies, patience, consolidation, harmony, coordination, a successful combination, a friendship. Okay. So they're both going to have to balance each other out because whatever negativity, they're both going to, like say if the hermit is having a bad day, the temperance is going to say, hey, hermit, come on, chin up, dude, Look at what you actually have. You got the lantern, you can't see, So then temperance might be having a bad day. And hermit's going to say, here, let me share my light with you. And by the way, you got that chalice and that pitcher. Share some of that with me, your elixir for happiness, for moderation, right? They're both going to temper each other, and they're both going to be truth seekers on this path that God has for them. Okay? So, what else do we have? Oh, and then we have the Fool at the bottom, I told you. So, energetically or physically, they're both taking the leap of faith towards each other. And they're releasing all fear because they know that God has them. God's going to take care of everything. All they have to do is release the fear and know in their heart how each other feels about them. Okay, so let's do the time thingy with Joanne, our astrologer. Okay, so let's see, what do we decide? The numbers are the numbers, and then the court cards or the major arcanas are 1. I kind of would like to change it, but I'll wait for another day. I think the major arcana should be 1 and the court cards should be 2. But let me know how you think, and then the regular cards are the regular cards. If you think I should just keep doing it the same, or if you think it's good to put the major arcanas as a 1 and the court cards as a 2. And I have ringing in my right ear. So I'll have to look that up later. So let's get the cards, because we're at 144 right now. 3 cards. All in a row. Knight of Coins, Eight of Swords, and the Star. Okay, so last time we had 881. This time we have 1, 8, 1. So if you want, I can look at 8, 1, or how did we get that? Oh yeah, 1, 8, 1, and I could look at 1, 8, 2. And I'll tell you what, I'll read 1, 8, 1, and then I'll just go through where it says 2. I don't know. Hold on. We'll figure it out. Okay. 1, 8, 1. Oops. Okay, let's see. 1, 8, 1, Joanne. Okay. Number 181 is made up the vibrations of number 1 and the energies of number 8, with 1 appearing twice, amplifying its influence. Number 1 brings optimism, attainment, new beginnings, motivation, and progress. Beginnings, new projects, self-leadership, and assertiveness, initiative, instinct, and intuition. Number 1 also reminds us that we create our own reality with our own beliefs, thoughts, and actions. Number 8 resonates with manifesting wealth and abundance, self-confidence, discernment, and good judgment, achievement, giving, and receiving inner wisdom, and serving humanity. Number 8 is also the number of karma and the universal spiritual law of cause and effect. Angel number 181 may suggest that you are nearing the end of a cycle or phase in your life. Positive new opportunities will appear for you in due course, so look out for the signs from your angels. Do not fear lack or loss, as the conclusion of a situation or cycle denotes the beginning of another. Your angels ask that you are not stressed about present circumstances, as better is on its way into your life. The angels ask you to have faith and trust in them and in your abilities, skills, and talents. Number 181 brings a message regarding finances, monetary issues, and wealth. Do not be afraid to look to new and different ways to earn a substantial or sustainable and substantial income. Look to occupations that resonate with your ethics, beliefs, and personal truths, and use positive affirmation and visualizations to ensure a steady flow of positive abundance into your life. Expect success and fulfillment to be your rewards. Angel number 181 can also suggest that if you are considering beginning or expanding a spiritually based practice, career, and or profession, or service-based venture, now is the most auspicious time to do so. Have faith that the universe will assist with any issues that may arise, and listen to the guidance from the angels as to the next steps to take. Trust that you have all skills, talents, and abilities within you that you need to serve your soul purpose and fulfill your spiritual destiny. Expect success on all levels. Angel number 181 brings you the energies of peace and tranquility. The road ahead will be smoother for you, so do not fear moving ahead in your intended directions. Okay, so let's go to, that would be 218. Okay. Okay, so it says the compilation influence attributes number 2. Oh, attributes of number 2. the vibration of number 1 and the energies of number 8. Number 2 adds its attributes of balance and harmony, partnership and relationships, adaptability, diplomacy and cooperation, encouragement, duality, faith and trust, and serving your divine life purpose. Angel number 2 and 8 brings the message to have faith and trust in your intuition and inner knowing, and believe that the angels in the universe are ensuring that your monetary and financial needs will be met. Give any money worries and or fears to your angels for healing and transmutation, and know that all will be taken care of. Have no fear in stepping towards your goal. Angel 218 is a message to expect an influx of funds, a win, a promotion, or pay rise. Use the extra money wisely. Angel number 218 tells you to be open to the flow of giving and receiving, and be grateful for the gifts and blessings of the universe. You get back what you put out, and your thoughts, beliefs, expectations, and outlook determine your results, so ensure that they are positive and optimistic. Allow prosperity to enter your life on all levels, and accept gifts graciously with a simple and heartfelt thank you. Okay, so one last message, and that is, remember, when negative people come around you and try to trigger you, you just look at them and smile and say, you could say, thank you, because I'm going to take that negative message that you just tried to give me, and I'm going to transmute it for the good. I'm going to transmute it into abundance in all aspects of my life. Okay? So that would be like telling them, you can say or do whatever you want. What you want to say to me does not affect me. It only improves me. You know, it only makes my life better, because I can really see who you are, right? Without even saying all of those sentences. Oh, thank you for those unkind words. I'll take those words and I'll transmute it. I'll transmute it to abundance in all aspects of my life. Thank you. Have a good day. Right? You don't give them any of your power. You let them sit in the power that they have, the power of negativity. And it's up to them to awaken if they want better in their lives. Right? Well, that's the end of our reading. Thank you so much. I actually have another little small deck of cards. So it's actually the Sexual Magic Tarot. And if you would like me to use these cards, just put it in the comment. Yeah, I'm kind of interested in seeing what those cards have to say. I actually took them out of the box today, but I don't know. I just wanted to see how everybody felt, because I don't want people to shut off because I do a channel like this, right? And maybe if I do use it, I'll just put 18 only on it or something. So if you don't want to watch it, then you already know it's coming, right? So it'll be like your choice. So I've had this deck for a long, long time, and I just, I don't know. I kind of want to use them, but I don't want to. It takes me a long time, okay? I'm a very shy person, and I don't want to do anything. Well, I'm going to use it in the future, I guess, and I'll just put 18 reading. And if you don't want to watch it, then you just don't need to watch it, okay? I just thought some people might be interested in that. All right, folks, have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful evening. See beautiful things in your future, right? See the most beautiful life that life could be 7 generations down. You know, people actually working together, people actually loving each other, people actually caring about their neighbors, people actually willing to put the hand out and give a hand, you know. People actually slowing up their life to enjoy a beautiful day, a beautiful day with family, friends, loved ones. You know, that's what I see in my future. And I hope I see it in yours too. Okay? Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Sending you love, light, peace, harmony, joy, happiness, and healing always. See you on the next one. Aloha.